Hi guys, what is going on? And welcome to my video on my top 5 upcoming MMOs. I've kind of long been an MMO player and there's quite a few interesting things sort of game-wise coming up. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to do a little bit of a video like this, kind of looking at some of the ones I'm most interested in and I think are kind of most interesting over the rest of this year and kind of up to the end of 2021. So I kind of wanted to start with Fractured, probably one of the lesser known MMOs. Fractured is a top-down, fully open-world sandbox MMORPG. Really seems to mix combat with that fully interactable environment to really create kind of an interesting and fairly challenging world with huge skill and tech trees as well as quite a lot of crafting. I have personally been really enjoying sort of Alphas 2 and Alpha 3, and whilst there certainly are areas where the game needs further development, I have so far been really quite impressed with it, and I'm really kind of looking forward to its continued development through 2020 and into 2021. We don't really have a fixed release date yet, but with the alphas being playable, I thought it was kind of worth throwing onto our list, particularly as being a bit of a lesser known game and something which has quite a lot of potential ahead of it. So for my second pick, I've actually decided to go for CorePunk. It's actually a game I've only really learnt about much more recently, and only more recently looked into it properly. But it seems like top-down camera is kind of the current trend in MMOs at the moment, as this is another one that has one of the key features of the game. The game's going to feature this sort of seamless open world, along with Fog of War, which is probably going to make exploration a bit more of a challenge. There's also going to be a wide variety of crafting, along with lots of different professions. There'll be trading, dungeons, PvP battles, and more. The pace of the game is also quite a lot slower than many of its rivals. This might not be down to everyone's taste, but actually suits me quite perfectly. The game is also going to be buy to play and intends to only sell cosmetics in-game, with no boosters or in-game advantages available, which is always a huge plus, particularly with so many game models these days. If you've been with my channel for a while, then it will be no surprise that one of my top picks has got to be New World. Despite its problems, controversies and delays, it's still the number one MMO I'm most looking forward to getting stuck into. They originally had quite a few issues when they made that sort of huge change away from the originally planned sandbox, fully paced survivalist game into the much sort of more traditional MMO we see today. But I think they have been making really good strides forwards in terms of building on the endgame content, quests, raids, arenas, and developing the game into a more complete final product. For me, one of my favourite aspects has got to be the crafting system. It has a really large variety of stuff that can be crafted, and with the score system, as well as perks and rarity and gem slots, there's really a lot of combinations that make it really quite an interesting and enjoyable system to explore. So for me, this has to be one of my favourite aspects of the game. Then we move on to in-game guilds, which are actually called companies, which give the ability for not only group cooperation, but also the ability to fight in territory wars, to capture, own and rule settlements. It even includes the abilities to tax other players living in your settlement. I mean, who doesn't want to do that? The game is due to be released in spring 2021. Obviously we've been pushed back a few times already, really hoping that we don't get delayed again, because I really want to get stuck into the game and actually be able to play it properly. They have also confirmed that the game is going to be buy to play, with an in-game cash shop having nothing but cosmetics, so really hope they stick to that, because that's really what keeps these games going and helps engender good community goodwill. I I didn't think I could put New World into this list without including Ashes of Creation. It really is probably the natural rival to New World, and I regularly see the two compared. Ashes of Creation is really quite a truly ambitious project. This more than likely still has a couple of years of development left, so if it probably wasn't for New World I wouldn't have included it in the list. But if they can stay on their current path, it's likely to go down as one of the all-time great MMOs. The game is set in a fantasy medieval world that sort of plans to mix old school traditional MMO concept with true sandbox elements. For example, one of my favourite features to date is how towns and cities develop based on player activity and population. If not many people visit a city, it will fall into disuse and decline. If an area sees a boom in player numbers, the city will expand, more money, merchants will arrive, and the area will thrive. The game also promises large-scale siege battles and awesome PvP action, along with a diverse crafting and trading system. So it really has to be a game to keep an eye on, and hopefully a game I'm going to feature and actually a bit more on the channel in the future, because it's not something I've really done any content on before, but certainly one I'm going to be keeping a closer eye on going forwards. For my final choice, I was actually a little unsure if I wanted to feature this, given the very mixed feelings on this game's predecessor, Black Desert Online. This is of course Pearl Abyss's new game, Crimson Desert. The game will of course be an epic narrative-heavy action MMO with a slightly bigger twist towards PvE content and narrative than the very heavy PvP-heavy Black Desert Online. But of course, the real elephant in the room with this game is going to be the cash shop and pay-to-win mechanics. Black Desert Online is almost legendary for its pay-to-win elements, and it seems unlikely that this is going to end anytime soon. Certainly a game I'm going to keep an eye on, and certainly one to keep an eye out for, but certainly with a heavy element of caution. And that is all I've got time for on today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I shall leave you with the remainder of the Crimson Desert trailer. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know any comments in the comment section down below, and I shall see you all on the next video.
Maybe he's to blame, maybe he ain't.
Young master, the lands here are cold and barren.
You can starve to death for all I care.
The north is full of dangers, whether you're a prince or a peasant. Whether man or beast, only the strong will survive.
Who cares if we die? How'd the lowlanders take